Okay, well, let's get started. So the first thing it asks us to do is to write a program that takes 4 inputs. Each input should be a letter grade. So we'll just say let letter grade 1 equal in prompt. What was your letter grade for class 1? And then I'll put a semicolon. If you want to quickly copy lines of code, you can hold the Option key and the Shift key and push the down arrow. So that's 2, 3, 4. If you want to rapidly edit multiple lines of code, you can click and then hold the Option or the Alt key. Option if you're on a Windows, Option if you're on a Mac, Alt if you're on Windows. And you can click in 2 locations. And so I'm going to change this to letter grade 2. Well, you can click in as many locations as you want, and it'll put your cursor in both spots. So letter grade 3. Again, that's Alt if you're on a Windows, Option if you're on a Mac. That's 4. Okay, so that's letter grade 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we need to convert each letter grade to its corresponding grade point value. Entering an A should display 4.0, an A minus should display 3.7. So let's do that. Let's do it first for letter grade 1. So we'll say if I'm actually going to create 4 GPAs. So we're going to say let GPA 1 equal 0, and then we'll hold Option Shift and create 4 of those. Make that 2, 3, and 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if letter grade 1 is an A, then we want to set GPA 1 to be 4.0. Else if letter grade 1 is an A minus, then we want to set GPA 1 to 3.7. And I'm going to copy this table up so that I can reference it as I'm making this conversion. I'm going to highlight the lines that I'm going to be using over and over. So, and then I'm going to hold Option Shift down. Oh, looks like I highlighted a little too much. So let's move that onto its own line, highlight, Option Shift down. So there's 1 else if, 2 else if, 3 else if. So it'll be A minus, B plus, B, B minus, C plus, C minus, D plus, D minus, and then we'll put the else statement here. And here we'll set the GPA 1 to whatever F is. F is 0.0. So, okay. So A is 4.0, A minus is 3.7, B plus is 3.3, B is 3.0, B minus is 2.7, C plus should be 2.3, C should be 2.0. And if you want to fast forward, you can. I'm just going to keep putting in these grades. C minus 1.7. D plus is 1.3. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to test it. So I'm going to say alert GPA 1. So I'm going to save and go visit my website. And what is your letter grade? Let's put in a B plus, B plus, B plus, and B plus, 3.3. So let's go over and make sure 3.3 was what we wanted. 3.3, B plus, GPA 3.3, and that is correct. So we know this if statement works. All right. Well, now we just have to do this 4 more times. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all this, copy it, paste it, hold the Option key and click everywhere where there was a 1, and we're going to change it to a 2. Okay, and we're going to do that again for 3. If you're wondering, it was intentional. This is really repetitive so that you appreciate that you don't have to do this once you know how to do a little more advanced programming. If you're someone who uses AI, this would be a wonderful time to put this into your favorite AI tool and ask it to do this for you. Okay, and one more time for 4. If you noticed, our code is getting really, really long, and longer code is harder to maintain. So when you learn how to use functions and loops, this will be a lot faster and a lot less lines of code. Okay, so we'll save that. Now we have converted each letter to a GPA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say convert letter grade 1. Then I'm going to come to the end of that, put a comment here and say convert letter grade 2. Come to the end of that, convert letter grade 3. Come to the end of that, convert letter grade 4. Okay, so it says take inputs, convert them to their grade point value. There's the table, and then I'll convert. Once we're done converting, we're going to assume they're all worth 3 credits, and we want to take the 4 grade points and calculate a GPA, a grade point average. So we'll say let total GPA equal, to get an average, you sum them and then divide them by the number of numbers. So we're going to say GPA 1 plus GPA 2 plus GPA 3 plus GPA 4 divided by 4. And that should give us the total GPA. After calculating the GPA, display one of these exact messages. And then it has each of those messages. So we're going to say if total GPA is 3.3 or higher, so we'll say greater than or equal to 3.3, then we want to alert your GPA is GPA, great job, your consistent efforts are paying off, keep challenging yourself. And since we're inputting the GPA, I'm going to use the backtick that's under the escape key, paste that in. And where it says GPA, I'm going to put $, curly braces, and I'm going to put total GPA. Great job, your consistent efforts are paying off. Keep challenging yourself and building on this progress. Circle. And then I'm going to say else if total GPA is greater than or equal to 2.3. And you may be wondering why I didn't use an and to make sure it's between 2.3 and 3.3. The reason is that code executes from the top to the bottom. So your if statement executes first, which means if you get to this else if statement, you already know that your GPA was not higher than 3.3. So this was a little bit of a trick here. Um, you don't actually have to use an and, but I wrote it so that you might want to. You could use an and, but it won't do anything here because you've already removed the chance that it could be higher than 3.3 before you get to this else if. And then now we'll alert the next message. Paste that in. And here we'll do $ curly braces and we'll put total GPA. And then if it's 2.3 or below, display that message. And we're just going to say else alert. And it looks like this one also has our GPA inside of the string, so we'll use a backtick. And we'll close it. All right, and if we've done this correctly, it should work. So let's shoot for an above 3.3 GPA. So we'll come over to our running website, and it says, what is the letter grade for class 1? 4. Oh, reload the website. What is your letter grade for class 1? A, and A. Your GPA is 4 points. It didn't have the 0.0, but great job. Your consistent effort is paying off. Keep challenging yourself and building on this progress. Let's reload and look at our code. So we want to have a GPA between 2.3 and 3.3. And if we look here, so if we put in all B's, that should trigger that message. So B, 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 and B. Congratulations, 3.0, making steady progress. And then to test the last one, we'll put in D minus, D minus, D minus, and D minus, and we get our GPA is 0.7, and we got our last message. And that should complete this video. Thanks for watching.